chief guest for this morning, Dr. Mundra, who's been very kind to accept our request, and we are delighted by his presence, and I'm sure when he speaks to us, we'll be equally inspired by his experiences and thoughts. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our friend and a collaborator and a partner, Professor Dan Gregory, who is the Dean of Faculty of Science and Engineering at St. Cloud's University. I'm sure some of you know that we have a very rewarding and relationship that is growing, and we're trying to do things together. So thanks Dan for making it here all the way for this conference. He has to rush back tonight because he has to be there for the commencement this Sunday. I'd like to welcome all the guests, authors, contributors, and speakers for being here. This conference on 3G, you'll agree, is an important one because the theme is contemporary. There's a strong connect between 3Gs because if you look at growth in a, as we say in economics, in the open economy framework, the impact of global forces is much bigger than in the closed economy context. You will agree, the debate about globalization has now settled down. The world has witnessed high growth after globalization. At the same time, there have been major turmoils as the other consequence of globalization. Indian economy, for instance, after we opened up, I think the growth graph of growth has been very different than pre-globalization. But one challenge that continues or that remains is that the economic shocks are now transmitted seamlessly, and the impact of what happens in one market, especially if it is a large market like US, spreads like a wildfire, and smaller economies get hurt more than the bigger ones, the ones which are more balanced, the ones which have the what you call the muscle power of financial resources. The smaller economies still have this issue that globalization makes them more unstable, risks have gone up, and therefore they need a better mechanism in terms of in the times of crisis, whether through the credit markets or collective intervention, that their economies do not suffer more than the developed and the larger economies. But at the same time, if you look at markets, markets are totally integrated, larger, more efficient, and globalization has helped. Today, it is the financial markets which call the shorts. Capital moves seamlessly at the click of a button, and the markets where the money is needed can receive capital with no difficulty. But the problem is that as the demand-supply matrix is changing, the demand centers are changing, and the supply centers being different, there are still tensions in the global context which we need to resolve, whether it is through the trade or the issues of the environment. Now, if you look at the connection if you understand the connection between growth and globalization, which is strong because of the trade, the flows of goods and services and money are becoming freer and freer, the other aspect is the governance, because today, whether you look at corporates or you look at economies, I think governance plays an important role. Good example is that everybody was questioning a couple of years back the confusion in India and lack of governance, some people said, and they directly alluded the lower growth rates to the governance structure prevailing in our country, and I think that issue still remains, has not been resolved. And the other aspects of governance is that all stakeholders must play responsibly, and the concerns for society and corporate citizenship, environment have now become more and more paramount, because you can't talk about governance unless the societal concerns are taken care, corporate citizenship, social responsibility, all of those aspects have become so important, and so has the environment. So, going back to these 3Gs, that there is a strong connect between globalization and growth. There are countries which have grown on the strength of trade alone. There are countries which have grown on the strength of being just financial centers. There are countries which have grown on the strength of being manufacturing hubs, because they can take advantage of the larger global markets. So it's not purely that you need to cater to the domestic demand. You can look at demand in a larger context. Markets are bigger, integrated. You can discover a better price, better return on your capital, and the world can benefit as a whole. And there has been some studies done on welfare versus globalization, but the evidence there continues to be mixed. There have been this debate has settled down to the extent that globalization cannot be, the clock cannot be turned back, but at the same time, then we need more, a larger understanding and a global framework to deal with crisis, because the last couple of crises have shown that we are still vulnerable, and the world needs the larger economies needs to work closely with each other. We at JKLU believe that themes like this will, when they are debated by the best brains coming from all across, I'm sure the kind of ideas and solutions, because India is still at a stage where India is still not known as a truly an open economy. It's like the US being the largest economy still is not known as the open economy. This is known, more or less closed economy in terms of, you look at the trade as a percentage of their GDP. So India still has a long way. India has issues of governance. India has issues of growth, because growth has to be balanced. Growth has to be balanced in terms of regions, in terms of different, the poor versus the rich. So all those, and of course the environment, the issue of environment continues to be, I think India and China need to deal with this issue much more, I think, urgently than anyone else in the world. So we at JKLU decided to take up this theme. The kind of papers that we'll have, the kind of deliberation that we'll have, I'm sure a lot of insight will come, and we'll understand this relationship between the 3Gs and what we need to do, as a country and as a global economy, in terms of looking at, as Sheetal was saying in the beginning, that if you have to look at sustainable aspects of various, whether it's consumption, whether it's production, whether it's healthcare, I think the issues are bigger and larger, and I think we need to debate and reach some consensus. We at JKLU believe that our students who come to us should not only be exposed to the latest ideas and people who have done some pioneering work in these areas, but they need to be sensitized to these global and multicultural issues. They need to be prepared. They need to prepare themselves to work in a global economy which is seamless and where cultural sensitivities are so important. All our programs, our relationship with universities outside, I think are aimed at creating a educational ecosystem where the curriculum and teaching, I think, work at a level where not only we teach what is available in the literature or deliver the curriculum, but I think train our students to get those skills and be rounded professionals, because, as I said, the world is not only becoming global, but it's becoming a complex place because various stakeholders sometimes have conflicting demands, and understanding in terms of how it works is an important thing. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are happy that St. Cloud's University is our partner for this conference. We have been doing a lot of things together, and this relationship, which has worked well so far, we all are looking forward to taking it to a different level and expand. I am extremely grateful that Dr. Mundra made time to be with us this morning. Someone who has done a lot in the infrastructure space in this country, and infrastructure is one of those areas where issues of not only that infrastructure growth has to be there, infrastructure has to be expanded, has to become more efficient, but while building infrastructure, the issues of, there are a lot of other issues coming in, whether it's land acquisition or issues of environment. I'd like to congratulate and thank all the contributors who have contributed research papers for this conference, have done some serious work to produce that kind of papers. At the end of 2 days, I'm sure we will have a lot of insights coming out. The fact that you have come, the fact that you're going to spend 2 days with us, all I can say is that I hope and I'm convinced that you're not going to be disappointed at the end. So please enjoy the conference, get what you want to get out of those deliberations, be active participants, enjoy your stay, and once again, thank you very much to all of you for being here. Thank you.